All right, let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine you're at home, just going about your day, and you see someone you love, your partner, your kid, whoever, walk right into a room, clear as day. You see them, you register it, but then, a few seconds later, you find out they were never there, at all. Today we're diving into this incredibly unsettling phenomenon that the internet has dubbed the mimic. And really, that's the core question, isn't it? It's a thought that sounds like it's pulled straight from a horror movie, but for some people, this is a baffling and very real experience. So let's dig into a story where this all began for one person.
So our story comes from a pretty chilling first-person account posted online by a Reddit user named Clemchi2020. And look, what makes this whole thing so compelling is that it doesn't start in some spooky haunted house at midnight. Nope, it begins on a totally perfectly normal afternoon.
So picture this. The day is completely mundane. She's working from home, she drops her son off at the babysitter's, she has her lunch break, and then she starts a simple chore, folding towels in her bedroom. It's this very routine, this absolute normalcy that makes what happens next so jarring. And this is the moment. As she's folding clothes, she sees her husband walk into the bedroom and go into their connected bathroom. And in her own words, it's totally normal. It's something she's seen him do hundreds, maybe thousands of times. There are no alarm bells ringing, nothing at all to suggest that anything is out of the ordinary.
But this, right here, is the moment everything starts to, well, fray at the edges. That comfortable, everyday reality begins to just unravel. And it all kicks off with a simple phone call.
Right after she sees him walk into the bathroom, her friend calls. Now this is a super important detail. She gets distracted, right? She's on the phone, having a conversation, and a few minutes go by. So this wasn't just a fleeting glance. Enough time passed for the scene to feel settled and real.
After she hangs up the phone, she realizes, my husband's been in the bathroom for a little while. She has some stuff to put away in there, so she heads toward the door, maybe thinking of asking him for a hand with the laundry. She opens the door, and the bathroom is empty. He's just not there. It turns out he was never there to begin with. He'd been downstairs on the treadmill the entire time and hadn't set foot in the room at all.
So you're thinking, okay, maybe her mind was playing tricks, maybe she was just tired? That's what I'd think too. But here's the kicker. She clearly remembered the figure she saw was wearing a blue tank top and gray pants. But her actual husband, when she found him downstairs, was in a black t-shirt and plaid pants. The clothes were completely different. And that is the detail that elevates this whole thing from a simple mistake to something much, much stranger.
So, naturally, she's completely freaked out. And she does what pretty much all of us would do, right? She goes online to see if anyone has ever experienced something like this. And right there, in the comments, she discovered her experience wasn't unique. Not by a long shot. And the community had a name for this exact thing.
They call it a mimic. The idea is that it's some kind of paranormal entity, or maybe a glitch in reality, that takes on the perfect appearance of someone you know and trust. And here's the key part. It performs routine actions. It doesn't do anything obviously scary or threatening. It just walks into the bathroom, which is honestly what makes the whole thing so deeply unsettling.
An experience like this just leaves you scrambling for an answer. You know, what just happened? And of course, the online community had no shortage of theories to try and make sense of it all.
And the explanations, man, they are all over the map. You've got these cosmic ideas like parallel universes briefly overlapping. Or maybe it's something more personal, like a sign that the actual person being mimicked is going through some kind of emotional turmoil. Then you get the more traditional supernatural beliefs. You know that it's an entity you need to ward off with iron or salt. And of course, there's always the most rational take. Maybe it was just a hallucination, a trick of a tired mind.
But this idea from a user named cheap_frame_7636 was one of the most popular theories by far. The thought that for just a split second, two realities crossed paths. It's a wild concept that feels both massive and incredibly personal at the same time, suggesting another version of your life is playing out just beyond what you can see.
And this is really where you see the power of these online communities. Clemchi2020 quickly learned that her bizarre, isolating experience wasn't unique at all. So many other people had gone through something eerily similar.
But just when you think this can't get any weirder, it does. Because it's not just people. It's not just our human loved ones being duplicated. It happens with pets too. Get this story from user Another Sip. They're in the bathroom at 3 in the morning and see their cat walk into the bedroom in the mirror's reflection. A totally normal thing. But a few seconds later, when they go to pet her, she's gone. The real cat?
fast asleep on the living room couch, where she'd apparently been for hours.
And it's not even always visual.
Another user heard a really distinct mew from their cat, and it sounded like it was coming from a closet down the hall. They thought nothing of it, until they turned and saw their actual cat sitting right there in the living room with them, and they just looked at each other. The sound came from a place the cat physically could not have been.
And for some people, this isn't a once-in-a-lifetime glitch. One commenter mentioned having two incredibly similar experiences in their 46 years. That suggests that for certain people, these strange little tears in reality can actually happen more than once.
And this comment from user hopeful_pizza_2762, man, it just perfectly captures the unsettling conclusion of the entire discussion. It's this quiet, chilling assertion that these strange slips aren't just a wild fantasy, but a phenomenon that might be happening all around us all the time.
So, where does that leave us? Are these stories just evidence of tired minds, our brains kind of auto-completing familiar patterns where there aren't any? Or, as so many people in these communities believe, are we getting brief, inexplicable glimpses into something else? A parallel world, another dimension, a reality that runs right alongside our own, which, for a fleeting, baffling moment, becomes visible. That's the question that sits right at the heart of the mimic phenomenon.